All right, everybody, welcome back to the 71st Autorama World of Wheels here in Detroit, the big home of the Riddler Award. And, of course, we're here with our Evel Knievel display, and we've met so many great people over the weekend. It's been so much fun, and the stories are epic. And I think I was gone last night, but we have a good friend of ours on the show now. I'm going to call him a friend because of what just happened here in the last hour and a half, 2 hours. So, Phil Goodell, right?
Yeah.
No, Phil Goodell, you're here doing some stuff with Marine Prop Riders right out of Detroit, Michigan.
Yeah, Marine Prop Riders is a inboard racing enthusiast club. We've been around for 72 years, although Autorama's been around 71. We've been around 72 years.
There you go.
We have 100+ members, generally in the Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, some out on the West Coast, out in Washington State.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so then obviously it's big because boating is huge here. Obviously, and boat racing is huge.
Yeah, boating is huge, and we were able to conduct 2 races this past year. One up at Mott Lake in the Flint area, and we had Belleville Lake last year as well. And we're looking forward to promoting more and more inboard racing in the Michigan area. So,
okay,
yep.
And that's still. I mean, this was. I mean, I remember watching this. Used to be way back when I was a kid on, Wide World of Sports and all this other fun stuff that we do, like we were talking about with the Knievel. And this is a huge industry.
Yeah, it is. I mean, basically, we're running automotive engines.
Yeah.
There's a lot of parallel there where, the kids come out, the adults come out, and they see that, they're running a 350 small block Chevy.
Yeah.
Okay, or they're running a 2.5 liter, Ford in that craft. And we're turning speeds of anywhere from 80 to 90 miles an hour with the smaller cubic inch engines to up over about 120 miles an hour with those small block Chevys. Then you get some of these 460 cubic inch blowing.
Yeah.
Grand Prix. That'll hit 160 to 180 miles per hour.
180 miles
awesome,
water.
Awesome. Oh, yeah.
That is so crazy.
Yeah, really awesome.
What's the fastest you've ever been on water?
Oh, well, I just did water skiing. I'm not going to get in one of these.
You not get one of these boats?
Oh,
you just go on and do the
yeah, I know what my limits are. And I think if I just stay on the ski board, I'm fine. But going along, my son, he drives a E350.
Okay.
We've traveled out to California. Our races this year are going to start in June. We'll be down in Decatur, Illinois. After that, we go down to Gunnersburg, Alabama. Then, Gunnersville, Alabama. The following weekend, 4th of July weekend, we're up in Madison, Indiana down there. And then local races in Ohio and Michigan after that.
Oh, that's very interesting, man. Well, you're busy schedule too.
Yeah, it's a busy summer.
Busy summer.
Yep.
Well, that's great. I mean, we saw part of the display. How awesome it was. Took some pictures over there, and we'll go back over after done too. So it's. But the real reason how you got over here is not because of the boating thing. You saw our display, and you were talking to a good friend of mine, Mike Waltenberry, who takes care of my booth here and does the PR and out there and telling everybody what's going on. You got one heck of a story here.
Yeah. I was out at the Snake River Canyon out there at Twin Falls.
And you were there. You were there September 8, 1974. That's what you.
That's correct. Yeah, that was the. I graduated that year. I was 18 years old. Me and a couple of my buddies decided to get into Tradesman 100, go out to California, check it out. Come up the west coast of Cali, decided, well, it's time to get back to Detroit. On our way back to Detroit on the highway, we noticed some signs. Oh, look at that. Knievel, jumping, Twin Falls. Where's Twin Falls? Well, followed the signs, made our way up there. And it was pretty awesome. Probably something I wasn't quite ready to experience at 18 years old.
A little different, huh? Not your regular road trip.
Yeah, it kind of made you grow up fast. But it was pretty cool, though. I mean, probably, like I said, my estimate is around 50, 60,000 people. We got in there. We spent 4 days ourselves. We were exposed to some dirt bike racing. And like I was telling Mike down there, dirt bike racing in the 70s is not like it is now.
No, it's a little different back then.
Yeah, the suspensions are not like they are you see today. And that.
Yeah.
So 4 days of dirt bike racing out there. Met a lot of good people.
Yeah.
They split us up. So one side of the field had families, trailers, travel trailers, and so on.
Okay.
Because there was 3 guys in a motorhome, we happened to make it over to where the bikers were and more of the motorcycle enthusiasts and things
they thought
like
you'd
that.
be over better with those guys.
Yeah, and it was probably a wise decision, really, looking back on it. Yeah, but my friends and I, we made friends with the rancher who leased the property to Knievel and everybody, and we were able to get a good vantage point of the launch of the rocket.
You had a little better spot than the rest of the crowd.
Yeah, because where we were sitting, we could look directly up the river towards the dam. And so we saw the whole rocket launch and everything right from there. And, from my perspective is, Evel was across that river. He was definitely across the river.
The ever so controversial story, right?
It's very controversial. And I think if you're on the same side behind the launch and all that, your depth perception is so that you're saying, oh no, he never even made it halfway. But if
Yes.
you're, on an angle like we were looking straight up that river, yeah, that rocket would have definitely landed
Oh,
well
on
on
the
the other side. Oh,
And
yeah.
that story, that the landing, did he do it right? Did he fake it? Because some of the new fans of, obviously, of 2024 now that are coming out and finding out who he is, and I see so many people going through and taking pictures, and the
Yeah.
people that found out who he is. So obviously there was a first rocket that just crashed. That was the expedition rocket that they
Yep.
did on purpose. So then, the E2 rocket that we have here, there was ever so controversy. Did he pull the chute too soon? Did he not go through? Everybody's allowed their opinion. That's why we do these things, right? I mean, that's
Right.
what, and I mean, the in my eyes, it deployed too soon. He was clearly across there. There was no other way. I mean, he just stopped short and crashed again. I mean, if
Yeah.
the parachute wasn't on, it was fine.
Yeah. And, we even argued amongst ourselves when we were out there
Oh, of
because
course.
my buddies and I said, well, they were saying, well, he pulled the chute. He pulled the chute. Well, how do you know? We don't know. We saw.
You weren't in the chute. You weren't in the rocket with him.
Right.
That was how you gonna do it.
But we could see the steam coming off the back of the rocket. We could
Yeah.
see the smoke, steam, and so on. And then by the time he was probably 100 feet past that launch platform, you could definitely see the chute.
Oh yeah.
So we kind of knew that there was trouble at that point in time, that this probably shouldn't happen. But it happened so fast, it's hard to process that. You have to run it back through your mind. And then again, by the graces of, ABC Wild World of Sports, you get to see it over and over and over, So again,
and everybody kept playing that over and over and going through, and the controversial, the speech afterwards and the booze and all that stuff.
Yeah. The environment afterwards was, like I say, when he got back up the launch pad, you could tell he was pretty beat up, black and blue. And
how was the crowd's reaction after he?
The crowd's reaction, I think, was it was mixed. We can say. I mean, I
There's always going to be the diehard fans that believe in him, no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, I was for him, because, like I said, our angle, I was for him. I was applauding. I thought it was great. He came by the fence. It was kind of like trying to give high fives to a cyclone fence, and you got some finger touches or whatever. He got back up there on the launch pad, and and he thank God I'm alive, thank God I'm here, and so on and so forth.
There was a lot. We were talking about this before. There was, even when he got up there, instead of being the famous evil always standing for himself, when he started thanking God, that was a controversial moment because a lot of people didn't like that.
I think he alienated a lot of people by doing that, and that's a shame, but it is what it is. You could tell that he was disappointed. I think he was looking for more accolades than what he was receiving, but he visibly was a little bit shaken by that.
Yeah.
And I think I mentioned to you and to Mike that the one thing I remember was him taking that cane and just throwing it out into the crowd.
That's how upset he was. He chucked it up the crowd. Yes.
Yeah. It probably went, I don't know, 10, 15 feet over my head. There was a gentleman standing on a car.
You were pretty close when he was making.
Oh, it was pretty close. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We managed to get up right to the fence that was surrounding the launch pad itself. And there was quite a crowd. It was elbow to elbow. It was packed.
And then the one guy caught the cane. I love this part of the story. You were telling me this before.
Yeah, this guy kind of leaped off the roof of the car. He managed to get his hands on the cane, fell to the ground, tumbled around a little bit. And then as he was picking himself up, he was like a pit bull, just growling and had.
He wasn't giving up that cane, was he?
There was no way. He was back and forth. It looked like he found a weak spot in the crowd and just bolted right straight through. And that was the last we ever saw him, man. Last I've ever seen of that cane.
Because he knew if he was stopped or hung out there, somebody was going to grab that cane from him.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, it was just a lot of things going on. The dirt bike race, and I think that really sticks out in my mind a lot. Of course, the night before the launch, there was an incident where some of our biker friends decided that, well, we know where the beer is. And they're in that trailer over there.
The beer story. This is a classic part.
So there was plywood food and beverage stands set up. And these guys had a great idea. They took a young boy, I'll say 12, 14 years old, something like that. They convinced him to go inside and maybe get some beer and push it out. And they'd pay him, I don't know, $10 or $20, whatever.
Sure.
Right?
Sure. Yeah, nothing much.
So Knievel had his armed guards up around the trailers, protecting the beer and whatever else. And of course, they had sidearms and shotguns.
Oh, yeah. That was the way they rolled back then.
Yep. And so what they did is they went over the crowbar, they busted some of the plywood loose, and they opened it up a little bit. And this young man went inside. And of course, these friends of ours, they ran over and told the security guards at the time, that there was somebody who
They were trying to steal them. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So obviously security left the beer trailer all alone. These guys went over with their bolt cutters, cut the locks off the back doors and the side doors, and proceeded to open it up. And there they was, from floor to ceiling, tail to nose of that trailer. Schlitz, Olympia.
Schlitz.
Yeah. Schlitz and Olympia and Rainier beers. Cases
Yeah.
and cases and cases. And I tell you what, it was a madhouse after that.
Then everybody started coming in. So the kids were, so basically the kids were the diversion.
They were the diversion.
They were a diversion, and the guy took the beer.
Yep, they got caught.
Classic.
And of course, by the time that the kids got out of there, the doors were open and it was total mayhem in and around that trailer.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is so crazy. And when you came up today to me, the first thing you did say, I'm Phil, well, I've got these things. And we started talking about, of course, the history. And what you brought to me was pretty epic. I mean, I've seen a couple things here and there, but Phil brought me this today. Now, Austin will get some close-ups on this later, but I'm just going to raise this up here quick, and Austin will do some other stuff on it here before. And I don't know if we can get it. That'll be good. Austin will get some close-ups on it later. So this was your actual shirt you got when you got to the jump.
Yeah.
From September 8th, 1974.
Yep. Bought a souvenir T-shirt.
You were the typical 70s kid, you're about the size of Austin back then.
Yeah. Yeah.
The whole 140 pounder he is.
Right.
Yeah. So right, Austin, that's about your size right there. Yeah. I bet you I could get you on this today. But it's just so cool. And I love the saying. It says right on here, I said I would jump the canyon, and I was damn good and ready. Well, now I'm ready. Happy landings, Evel Knievel.
I know.
And that was
awesome.
Evel Knievel, 1974.
Yeah.
Original shirt, September 8th.
Yeah. And it's ironic that, you're down here at the 71st annual Autorama. And when I saw Mike the other day out there, I said, geez, I've got a shirt 50 years later. What am I going to do with it?
It's pretty epic. The last show, we were at Milwaukee in my hometown when I finally was able to take a break from the tour, and we had to stop there at Autorama there. We had a couple that came through and they had a ticket.
Oh, really?
They had a tickets in the showcase over there.
Yeah.
So
really? Okay.
what I did in there, and we basically, we made an announcement after today. We'll probably, get you on some social media here and do the same thing. And they were so happy to do that. We were going to deal with them also. And that was the original ticket. They were in their 20s and they were a young couple touring the United States and having fun.
Yeah.
Just like you were.
Yeah.
And I think this is the great American stories that we have, because we're here celebrating Evel Knievel America. We have the flags that my opinion, I'm sure yours, we're the greatest country in the world in what we do here, no matter what, with freedom and everything we do. And of course, our military vets and everything that we have with giving away the bikes. And without them, we wouldn't be here doing this stuff.
Absolutely, yes.
Evel promoted America. He promoted freedom.
Yeah.
That's what we did. And that's what you were doing as a young guy.
Yeah.
And that couple did with that ticket. You were exploring America. That's what you're doing.
Oh, yeah, that's what we were doing. Yeah. Yeah. Before we had to go out and get real jobs and provide a living for ourselves.
Everybody does that. I think the kids are maybe getting back to it a little bit, at this day and age, but I think that was lost for so long.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's a time that, again, you reflect back on that, and what else would I have been doing?
Yeah, what else have you been doing?
I don't know. Who knows? But it was a time of my life, and I think the young people today, they should experience that. Go out. Don't be afraid to do it. Go out, explore a little bit.
100%.
See the United States. That's a fact. You got to see this.
It's great.
So many beautiful parts of this country that even myself, as of now, still haven't seen yet. And
I've not seen everything, and I've been all over the place. It seems like I've been all over the place forever, and I'm like, wow, how did I get to be I'll be 50 this year, and I'm like, wow, I've been going all over the place. Same thing with you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I didn't see it all yet. How did I not see it all?
Maybe one of our trips when we go racing out in the Washington State, maybe we'll take a little diversion over there and take a look at that site again.
Yeah.
I'd like to do that, really.
That'd
be awesome.
When you get over there, we're gonna be announcing it later on, but we're gonna go back and visit the site this year.
Cool.
And I'll let you know the dates on it, what we're gonna do. We'd love to bring the rocket back this year. We're gonna make the announcements, and
that'd be
because
great.
this tour started out as just, again, a napkin idea, kind of like what you did with your buddies.
Yeah.
My idea is I just started jotting down ideas. I was just, I'm an old school guy.
Sure.
I get all this technology. They give me laptops, they give me all these things, which is great. My daughters know more than I do about them, but so does Austin. That's why he's here with me. But I still old school. I read it all down on paper. What did I do with the paper after that? I don't know. But I read them all down, and we started doing this tour, and we had no idea how this was going to turn out, what was going to happen, any of these things. And now we're here at Detroit Autorama, one of the biggest shows in the world, and meeting people like you that just come up in our booth. So many great stories come through, and hey, I remember seeing them. Hey, I remember this, and I just love listening to stories. I could listen to these people all day long.
Yeah, yeah, you do. You meet a lot of interesting people here at Autorama.
Yeah.
From all different facets of the racing world, the car show world,
We get
the
a
boat racing world. I mean, all of us really.
It's called Autorama, and you're here promoting your boat company.
promoting promoting the boats.
You're promoting the boats, and it's. I mean, you're here doing this stuff, and you've got tons of people in the boating industry.
Oh, we do, and it's a tight knit group.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody here that so we have competitors. We've got 2 boats. They're both 2.5 stock, and they're good friends here at Autorama. They're good friends in the pits. They get on the water, their friendship maybe not, because they are
competitive now. Now it's competitive. Now it's we're buddies out here. As soon as the suits go on, the motor's fired up, we're done.
Yeah,
that's it.
But I mean, if somebody needs a fuel pump, we're willing to give it to them. Somebody needs a ignition box. Hey, I got one. Get on the water. We want to see you out there racing. You drove 8 hours and 500, 800 miles.
Yeah, to get it through and get it done.
Let's get on the water. Let's get the show going. So
yeah. So after you're done, September 8th, 1974, you see Knievel jump. You know who he is, and you guys knew who he is. How the heck did you keep the shirt for that long? Where was this?
That's a good question, really. I've got a lot of old shirts from that era.
From that era, right?
Yeah, I mean, rock and roll shirts, hockey, different hockey clubs that have come and gone. And I had them saved up, and over time, God, I can't even tell you how many homes I've lived in and how many states I've lived in and moved around. But these things follow me around. And it was last summer I started going through some of these again and finding these. I was like, oh darn, look at this Evel Knievel shirt. I tried it on, but
it didn't work so good.
Yeah.
We bodies change over the years. What are you going to say?
Should I get it framed? I don't know if I want to do all that. So this is a great opportunity. Like I say, I'm no longer going to wear it. It should be displayed, should be shown. And then, this is a great opportunity.
It is. And when I'm still flattered that I've seen one of these before in the museum, which is great. So now actually to be able to get my hands on one of these things. And again, the premise of the story, we worked out a deal and we own these shirts. So it's great.
If I knew, I would have washed and ironed it for you. But
it was so funny. The funny part about these stories now that the history is gone. When Phil brought it over to me, and it's pretty funny, we were laughing at it because all these old shirts, and we have so many of them, and you got your girlfriends coming in, and you're a high school kid and do whatever like that. So we go back and forth. And a lot of the old shirts that we had, who would have thought they would have been worth something later on? Yeah. Epic, like the concert shirts. You're talking about old rock stars. I mean, come on, really? And I had a guy a couple of years back, we were laughing, and we were talking about the Monsters of Rock situation. And I was looking, everybody goes to American Pickers and all this stuff on eBay.
Yeah.
What these old shirts got to be worth after a while. I'm like,
I know,
come on,
right?
Man.
I know.
And the mirrors, and I mean, a good friend of our, Dave Shutton's here. He's got so many old shirts and mirrors and stuff. You remember the little mirrors too?
Oh, yeah.
Little mirrors from the fairs?
Oh, yeah.
Those were all over the place, and people, those are highly collectible now.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
They were carny tchotchke crap.
Yeah.
Nobody cared, and it was just, we would get them all the time, and I thought it was great, and I don't know, did Kevin someone there? So the story I was going at is that after so long, we would rip our T-shirts up, so we'd cut them up for rags to work on our hot rods or our Harleys or trucks and go to a show.
Yeah.
So I was laughing at you because this has been truly used before to wipe something down after time. And we were laughing about it. I'm like, that is car wax, right? And we're laughing about it. But it is so funny because my brother had a lot of these old shirts and he gave them to me over the years.
Uh-huh.
And I kept them for a long time. And I sold a bunch of them to a buddy of mine at a resale shop. And I didn't think they were worth that. And all of a sudden I look at what the price they were. I'm like, you
oh my God. Yeah. No, really.
I would have thought some of these shirts are worth over a couple $1,000s.
I can't even fathom that, really.
Me neither.
I mean, God, it's like my 401k or something. You put it away, and who knew later on I was gonna,
Who knew?
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
Cars.
Like I always tell everybody I'm sitting in his booth and I'm looking at the collection that I brought with me on a personal collection with my toys and boxes and stuff. And for years I kept them. Everybody's like, "What do you keep that garbage for?" And whatever. And here we are, 2024. I'm going to be 50 years old. And people are here flocking to my toys that I've collected over the years, which is, to me, it's great. I love it, and telling the stories. And the best part is that people are here and they love telling the stories. And I don't think I've not seen an hour pass by that somebody doesn't walk up to that toy case and you see them going like this with your arm winding it up. It's like, I remember doing that. I remember because it was the wind up. It was the wind up toy. And so So over the years, did you keep track of Knievel and what happened to him, or was it just that was just a one-time gig?
No, I mean, we did. Obviously, we'd seen as many of his jumps as we could over the years.
Yes.
And it was
that
always
the only was
fascinating.
that the only jump you ever saw, or did you go more?
Live. No, that was the only one I saw live.
That was the only one I saw live.
Yep. That was the only one. Again, it's time and place and what you're doing in your life.
It just falls into place sometimes.
Yeah. I've reached a point now where if I'm going to go do something, I'm just going to go do it now.
There's no questions anymore.
No,
you just do it.
No. But, when you're 18, 19, 20 years old, you put it off because, I'll be there again or I'll do it again. And
there's always going to be. And before you know it, we blink and we're here.
Yeah, no kidding.
And it is, we go through the mom and dad controversy. You better do everything you can, because before you know it, life is going to be over. And you go through it. And, here we are over halfway through it already. And I'm like, how did that happen?
Well, we laugh about times in the past and so on. And I've been coming to the Detroit Autorama since I was 15, 16 years old. My friends' dads would bring us down here. Then once we started driving, we came down here. Funny story, downstairs, one of the first bands I saw here was Grand Funk Railroad at Cobo Hall.
Wow.
15 years old. But another band I saw here downstairs was Alice Cooper. And a couple of the backup bands were SRC and Muncie and that. And we were like,
that was in the 70s.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Of course.
Nobody really knew who Alice Cooper was.
No,
I mean, even being from Detroit, he was new and so on. And
this was the place to go. This is Rock City. I mean, Detroit, Rock City, Motor City. I mean, this is the place people came to.
And one of the things was at the end of the show, he did the guillotine where he cut his head off.
Yeah.
And what happened was when he cut his head off, the lights went out, the drapes came down, and then they slowly came back on. And there was a hush over the crowd. There was no cheering. There was no lighters.
No,
that crowd totally freaked out.
Oh yeah, it was. And that was back in the day of the 70s. Again, going back to all this stuff, the him and Ozzy and Evel Knievel. I mean, it was all shock to shock the world.
It was,
and it shock rock, shock theater, however you want to describe all that stuff. The stuff that these guys did, man,
the theater, the theater involved and everything, big time. I mean, you look where we're at today, but back then it was cutting edge.
Yeah, but it was cutting edge because these guys. Even going through what we're doing, and again talking all these, they were great people and showing, but the promoters that they were for themselves was unbelievable.
Yeah,
of going through, like you said, we were talking about Snake River Canyon. Look at how Evel promoted that. Look at Alice Cooper, how he did what he did to promote himself. Look at Kiss. Look at Ozzy Osbourne. Look at all those greats. I mean, it's unbelievable how they did to promote themselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we look at nowadays. I mean, of course, I'm going to make fun of some of the new generation because you go through it. If they can't get a Facebook or Instagram or like, I didn't get 100 likes or 2,000 likes on it. Nobody's liking my page. There was none of that back then.
No,
it was this, man. It was like, hey, here's a flyer. Come to my show.
That's it.
And they did it.
Yeah.
Because they weren't getting TV commercials.
No.
They were barely, because that was heavy rock. They were not even getting a radio commercial.
Right.
It was a flyer and word of mouth, like, and winding up on the phone and stuff like that. Yeah.
Flyers, posters.
Yeah.
I mean, we still do that. Obviously, you see, we have paper flyers, but we also include the QR code on there because the younger generation is going to.
The younger generation, we do it. You can see it all over my booth. I've got Mason and Austin. They did a great job. Yep. You can go anywhere in my booth, and we put our QR code everywhere.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing is keeping your brand on it. And even where we have our for sale signs and stuff, our logo, our image of Motor Mania is faded in the background because you've got to brand it. And that's what you do. So it's a pretty big thing,
Mm-hmm.
For what we're doing. So it's pretty neat. It's pretty controversial what we got going on, but no, but I'm definitely glad you stopped out. It made my day. It made weekend. Every weekend we have some stuff going on, and it's just great. I'm so glad you stopped out.
Well, it's my pleasure.
Yeah,
I enjoyed this.
So overall great weekend though.
Oh yeah, great weekend. I think we went through 40 pounds of candy over there. The kids have been doing some coloring on some hydroplanes. So
that's always fun too.
Oh yeah. And I think some of these kids have put some nice colors on some of these boats. I think maybe in the future we may want to, pick up on some of that. Maybe paint our boat the same color as some of these kids. Now, very creative.
Wouldn't that be cool? A kid colors the picture and you vinyl wrap it or do it.
Oh, that would be awesome. Yeah.
That would be so great to do. And so now, do you have So now you're going to get ready to load up for the show. And then what's after this one? Where are you going?
Well, like I said, basically, we have a test and tune down in Ohio.
Wow.
That'll come up.
Another month or so?
Let's see. We're
in March.
April. We're going to be in May. Yeah. April, May time frame. Yeah. Okay. And then, like I said, first race we'll go to is Decatur, Illinois. Okay. And out of that, we'll go down to Gunnersville, Alabama.
And how many people go with you on the tour?
Well, basically.
Around the racing season, I should say. I apologize.
Well, it depends on the venue. some of the venues, of course, it'll be Gunnersville and Madison. Those are going to be the unlimiteds. Those are the 200-mile-an-hour boats. So they're going to be there. The Grand Prix, 160, 180-mile-an-hour boats are there. And then the E350s that my son drives in, they're going to be at the Gunnersville and Madison race. When we go to Decatur, we're hoping to get some of the Grand Prix and then all the way down to the 1 liter class. So 1 liter, 1.5, 2.5 stock, 2.5 mods, E350s, hopefully some national mods, which are like 6 liters, and then
very cool.
Grand National Hydro. It's open to everybody that wants to come out that's got their boat. A lot of the boaters, as long as somebody's got water and we can put our boats on the water, we'll show up.
You'll show up.
Yeah, we'll show up. So
that's great.
Yeah. These guys are fanatics. They love showing off their boats. They love driving them. It's an adrenaline rush. And like I said, any chance they get, they want to get out on the water.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, I'll let you get back at it. I know you got to get some trucks and trailers ready because it's Sunday afternoon here, and we got to get boys and everybody lined up here because I know our trailers are still in here. We got to get the trucks lined up at the dock here, and
pretty soon.
Because I think we got the awards going on at 6, I believe, tonight, right?
Yeah, I think that's about time they start. And I'm actually myself. I'm headed back to Florida. So
head back to Florida.
Head back to Florida. Yeah.
Well, at least I'm going back to Wisconsin. I go to Chicago, so it's like. But I talked to the family back home today. It's about 50 degrees there, so it's not too bad. So but I'm going to get a big foot of snow before I got one more dumping coming in. You know how that goes.
Yeah.
Well, man, thanks for being on the show. And thanks for coming, sure. And it was great talking about your products and what you have going on.
Great.
And again, this is going to get great use. You're going to see it all over the internet for the next couple of weeks and
great. I hope so.
Over a year, and it'd be great.
I hope so.
All right. Thanks, man.
Thanks again.